And those who commit repeated violent crimes should be told, when you commit a third violent crime, you will be put away and put away for good. 3 strikes and you are out.
YouTube, Rumble, Big Max Dolluz here, vlog number 36, and I'm going to talk to you about why you should not sign for a strike in California. Everybody knows about the 3 strikes law. If you don't, look it up. I signed for a strike back in 2013. I got it for allegedly assaulting police officers.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But I was blacked out, and so I just kind of took a deal that was offered to me by my paid attorney. And a couple of things I didn't know about strikes. So this is kind of like well known once you actually get to prison, that they want to get you to sign. They want to get you to sign for a strike. So this is what they'll do. You get your first felony or whatever, if it's a serious or violent felony, they'll cut you a sweet deal. You know, maybe, 9 months in jail plus a strike. Or you can try to take your case to trial and for multiple years, and of course nobody wants to do that, so they're like, sure, I'll take the 5 years, it's already a felony. But getting a strike is a big deal. Some of the right out of the gate things that I didn't know until the next felony that I caught is that when you have a strike, you're no longer eligible for any kind of probation. So normal felonies, any kind of felony that you get, you're automatically doing time for it with a strike. And not only that, anything that you get busted for automatically doubles your sentence because you got a strike. It's not like just having a felony. Like, you can have a bunch of felonies. As long as you don't have a strike, it's normal. Whatever. So automatically no probation if you get busted again. Automatically your sentence is doubled. So let's say you, get caught breaking into a car and normally you would get a year in jail. That's automatically 2 years. On top of that, you're no longer eligible for halftime. And halftime is like exactly what it sounds like. If you get a year in jail, like normally you get two for ones. Like you only end up doing 6 months. And when you get to prison, if you decide to go that route, you can actually get it all the way down to like 33%. So if you get a year, you're only doing 4 months? But if you have a strike, you're not eligible for any of that. And I've actually heard LA County Jail, you can get all the way up to 10 to 1s and all kinds of crazy shit. So if you get a month in jail, you really only got to do 3 days. You got a strike, you don't get any of that. So those are the biggest things that I didn't learn until I got another felony after my strike and eventually went to prison. And oh yeah, the other thing is you automatically got to do 85%. That goes along with the halftime, not getting halftime. You have to do 85% of your sentence.
What kind of shit is that?
Because you don't qualify for halftime or any of that. You can still get time once you get to jail, you can still get time knocked off your sentence. But best believe, so I got sentenced to 32 months in prison. It would have only been 16 months, but it got doubled because of my strike. And then I had to do 85%, which was going to, it was going to come out to doing 21 or 22 months. Ended up getting my GED, even though I already had a high school diploma. So, but Yeah, and then COVID hit, and I got like another Fed kick. But so that, yeah, those three things. You're not eligible for probation. You automatically got to do 85%, and you get whatever sentence is going to happen to you doubled.
You lose. Good day, sir.
And I'm pretty sure now that I've been to prison, that's another, like, they add that on too if I ever get busted again. He's already had one prison term, so let's give him even more. So those are the main reasons why you shouldn't just willy-nilly sign for a strike. If I could take it all back, I would have fought my case. I would have fought it, man. They were offering me like 6 or 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, that was what I was looking at max if I would have fought it. And I don't know. I just, I feel like I've, definitely screwed that up. But I didn't find out any of this stuff about strikes until I got busted again. And I was like, wow, I would have never done that because it's really messed up. Like when I was in jail, there was a dude that was doing 5 years with half, and he was only doing what? It's like a few months more than I was going to do, and I only got sentenced to 32 months because he got half time, and you know what I mean? He could get his shit reduced big time. Another way that the signing for a strike has messed with me, it's 2025, and I got my strike in 2013, so it's been 12 years. And like the jobs that other felons can get, you still can't get them. Like I was working in a restaurant as a line cook, and there was another line cook working with me who was also a felon, and there was another guy who had a job at another place, and he was offering to get us both a job at this other place. So we both went, did the resume, the interview and all that. And the dude that just had normal felonies for like selling drugs and like, minor theft, he ended up getting the job. And this dude was a terrible person. He was terrible. I'm not saying that everybody with, like, this dude was a literal dirtbag, man. And he ended up getting the other job, and I couldn't get it because I had a strike. So the jobs that other felons can get, if you got a strike, man, you're even more at the bottom of the pecking order, so to speak.
Jesus Christ.
So strikes are a major thing. And obviously, if you get 3 of them, like, here's what happens. Like, dudes will have one strike, right? They'll get out, go do some other dumb shit, and get a second strike. Or sometimes it happens while they're in prison for their first one or whatever. But, like, you know how easy it is to get a strike while you're in prison? So if you go to prison on your second strike, you're probably going to, the odds of you catching another strike while you're incarcerated is pretty high. Because you got to, it's prison. Anything could happen. You might have to really put that work in. And you could, like, realistically, like, screw your whole life up.
Losers.
So you get your first one, and you're like, oh, whatever, trying to stay out of trouble. And then if you get a second strike, like, you pretty much get a third one. You're like you got to really walk a tightrope in order to not get that third one. Because if you go to prison with a second strike, you're highly likely to get another one while you're incarcerated. And then that's it. You're out of here. So, signing for a strike, major. It's major. You should do everything that you can to try to avoid getting a strike. And they'll really do the most as far as the district attorneys to try to get you signed for that first one, because they know not a lot of people know that, like, it's way worse once you have one. It's way worse. So obviously, do everything that you can to stay out of trouble. That's a given. Don't get busted. Don't do dumb shit that's going to get you locked up. But if you do, know that if you sign for that strike, like, things are just going to be way tougher, especially if you think that you're going to continue to, like, mess up. Don't just be signing for a strike all willy-nilly, folks. This shit is terrible. You know, as I was making this video talking about my GED, and it made me think about some other... I just want to go over some things that happened once I was in prison. So you go to like classification, you got to talk to a counselor. And before I went to prison, like I was actively in college, right? Obviously I had a high school diploma and all that. And so I told him, yeah, man, I told the counselor, wherever I go, like I want to like... I had like 5 more courses to finish my AA. I was like, I might as well do that while I'm in here. And so he's like, oh yeah, cool, no problem. And so when I get to, you know, after about 6 months in, I finally get to the place, you know, Donovan, where I could like take some college courses. And then they couldn't find my high school diploma on file. So, and you can't take college courses unless you have a high school diploma or GED, right? So I was like, kind of bummed for a minute, but then he's like, you could get your GED, and that's an automatic 6 months off your sentence. If you don't have a GED, just wait to get it to go to prison. You know what I mean? Like, that's automatic 6 months. It doesn't matter if you got a strike or you're doing 85%. It's automatic time cut. 6 months. And it was huge. So of course I did that. I got it in a month. And right when I was at a year left is when I got my time cut. So that was a great day, going from a year left to automatically 6 months. Fantastic.
You little bitch ass motherfucker.
And you know, the GED test, it's not an easy test, you know. There's 4 tests. You can take 2 per month because they only come to do the testing for it once a month. It's like a reading, language arts, like a social studies, you know what I mean, like sociology, and then there's a math and a science. 4 tests. So I jumped into the GED class as soon as I found that out. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get 6 months off. I jumped in, you know, within a week was when the next time they were coming. So right out of the gate, I knocked out the English and social studies part. So that was 2 down. Boom. Waited a month. Boom. Did the math and science. In a month, I had my GED. Automatic 6 months. But it just goes to show, like, what do you mean you can't find my high school diploma on file? You know what I mean? The CDCR is so backwards. And here's another thing that was really backwards. Also, you know, the first people who are on their first term in prison in California, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but like it's kind of like a given that you're going to go to some sort of fire camp. And so when I went in to see my first counselor or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, so you be going to fire camp or whatever, and everybody wants to go to fire camp. It's supposed to be like, you know, you make more money, better food, there's like no fences really at these camps or whatever once you get to the camp, and it's like a lot more freedom or whatever. But I was like, I'm not going to fire camp. I was like, just send me to a regular ass jail where I can play poker and smoke weed and shit, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm not going to fight any fires for the prison, you know what I mean? But they sent me to Jamestown anyway to go to this fire training, and like Jamestown in California, it's like one of the places you can go. It's like, you know, where they do the training for the fire. It's like you do like a physical fitness training and then like a firefighting training, and then you get sent out to a camp, right? So as much as I told the counselor, I don't want to go to fire camp. Just send me to a regular, you know, minimum or whatever. I'll just do my time normal. I'm not going to go fight fires. But they sent me to Jamestown anyway. And when I got there, so I was there for like, you know, I don't know, a week or so before you see a committee of like people, and they're going to tell you what time it is, what you're going to be doing or whatever. I go to committee, and they're like, well, you're not eligible for fire camp because you got classified as an arson. So back on the felony where I caught the strike, they searched my pad, broke into my safe, got my guns out, you know, took all my guns, all that, whatever. And in my pad, I had a drawer full of like M80s and all these different firecrackers, right? Just random. And so I wasn't eligible, even though I never got charged with these firecrackers. I certainly never got, you know, charged with arson or anything like that. But because I had those, I got classified as an arson. Never been convicted of arson or nothing even close to that. So I got classified as an arson. And so what that made me, it automatically, okay, I'm not eligible for fire camp, whatever. I didn't want to do that anyway. But what I did want to do was house arrest. It's called ACP, Alternative Custody Program. It's going to house arrest, right? Nah, you're not eligible for that because you're an arson. I'm like, whatever. So down the drains went house arrest. And then the other thing I didn't qualify for was work furlough. It's like living in a halfway house. No, you're not eligible for that because you're an arson. Even though on the conviction that I got, where I got the strike, where they actually found the fireworks and what I'm being classified as an arson for, I served in a work furlough. I actually did like 5 months in a work furlough on that case. So for the CDCR, they're like, nah, you can't go to a work furlough because you're an arson. I'm like, dude, I already was in a work furlough for that charge. There's like just a couple of like the most ridiculous things that the CDCR, they're just so unorganized, and like, it's just, don't get in trouble, everybody. Stay out of trouble. Don't get felonies and strikes, and just, I don't know, man. Just be a normal person. Don't make bad decisions like me. Don't be an idiot, and your life is going to be run a lot smoother. I can guarantee that. Not going to prison and getting felonies and strikes, your life is going to be a lot easier than it would be if you did. All right, that's enough for today. Max Dolluz, Vlog 36. Until the next one, I'm out.